Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to our channel. Today video is about Al Ain Palace Museum visit. It was a memorable visit for us, so we want to share something with you about the details. Al Ain Palace is one of the best reinstated museum in Abu Dhabi, an important historical site in the UAE. It was home to the founding father of the UAE, the first president of the country, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, who lived here with his family until the late 60s when he moved to Abu Dhabi. The palace and private residence provide insight into the lives and culture of both the ruling family and the community until the country's transformation after the discovery of petroleum. The oldest building in the palace dated back to 1937. The palace was renovated in 1998 and opened its door as a tourist and cultural museum in 2001. The museum opened its door to visitors in 2001 and continues to celebrate the UAE's rich history, preserving its link to the present and the future. A contrast of modern design elements and traditional Emirati influence can be seen throughout the property. The structure of the museum is conglomeration of courtyard that merge official and private facilities in one complex. Each of these areas was built and restored using locally sourced and environmentally friendly building materials, including clay, adobe, and plaster stones, as well as palm tree elements for roofing, rooms, ceiling, doors, and windows. Entry to Al Ain Palace Museum is free. While visitors are free to explore the museum on their own, this is a museum where use of a guide is particularly helpful. The history of the United Arab Emirates is fascinating and provide expensive information with lots of interesting details that are not always explained in the exhibits. The museum provides information about the past and current government structure in the United Arab Emirates as well as the cultural and social norms of the UAE. If you appreciate history and culture, this place is the must visit. It feels like going back into the innocent years when money had no meaning or purpose, when life was simply yet accommodated. This is such a beautiful place to visit. There were lots of great spots for Photoshop. Photos turn out great. Parking and entrance are free. The best time to go is during the golden hours because the sunset view is amazing. This is such a wonderful place to visit to see the house where Sheikh Zayed lived. We truly enjoyed the grounds and exhibit. Very good historical site and birthplace of UAE. This entire complex is very informative and well worth to visit. There are several rooms in the palace and an art gallery. A lot of rooms are majlis, meaning meeting rooms for receiving visitors. There are several courts. One of the courts consists of a replica of Grand Court tents representing an association with the Bedouin life. Besides these attractions, the museum houses and a Land Rover like the one Sheikh Zayed used to drive in the desert to meet the communities. The museum is popular tourist destination as it is a place where you can feel the royalty that Sheikh lived in. Many artifacts are well preserved and tourists catch a glimpse of the history of United Arab Emirates through them. Al Ain Palace is a magnificent structure and a fine example of great architectural style. Keeping in room with many of the historical buildings in UAE, the Al Ain Palace Museum too features ventilation structures called bargeels, designed specifically to beat the summer heat. The use of airy material like clay and plaster stones is another unique and significant characteristic of the structure. In addition of all the material used in the building are preserved in the museum. A very important characteristic of the palace is its beautiful and unique internal gate, which is decorated with verses from the Quran. When getting renovated, the palace had two new additions to it. The two buildings include an important part of the history and heritage of the community and royal family. The palace has an outdoor yard which was once used for meetings and official gatherings. The original tables and blackboards still stand in the rooms where royal family kids used to study. The private residence has two floors, one for the visiting ladies and the upper floor where the royal family lived. There are several things that should be kept in mind before visiting the Alan Palace Museum. Don't touch the artifacts and any preserved craft, object in the museum or the palace on your visit. Make sure you cover your head and body to stay safe from the sun, and also wear modest clothes, keeping the culture in mind. It is very important to carry plenty of hydrating liquid so that you can just have a very wonderful time in the museum. While planning your trip to Alan, make sure to keep in mind the hot weather and scorching heat of the area. It should be better if you are just visiting during winter days. You must have plenty of time so that you can just explore the oldest and most significant museum in the UAE, and you can experience the beautiful life and preserve history and culture of the community before the modern world reach its door.